Imagine spending years building a successful business, only to walk away from every single thing you've worked for. Your customers, your reputation, your investments, your income, gone. Not because you made a bad business decision. Not because the market crashed, but because staying would cost you something far more valuable than wealth. Now ask yourself this: if you lost everything tomorrow, what would you have left? More than 1,400 years ago, one man arrived in Medina with almost nothing to his name. Yet within a few years, he became one of the wealthiest and most respected merchants of the early Muslim community. His name was Abdur Rahman ibn Awf, radiyallahu anhu. But here's the part most people never hear. Long before he became known as one of the wealthiest Muslims in history, Abdur Rahman ibn Awf radiyallahu an was already a respected merchant in Mecca. Mecca wasn't just a spiritual center. It was also one of Arabia's important trading hubs. In a city like this, success wasn't built overnight. It was earned through years of honest dealing, reliable partnerships, and a reputation people could trust. Then everything changed. As persecution intensified, the early Muslims were faced with an extraordinary decision: remain with what they had built or leave it behind. When he arrived in Medina, he wasn't arriving as a successful merchant. He was arriving as someone who had to begin again. When everything familiar disappears, what remains? When the Muslims arrived in Medina, they weren't left to face hardship alone. Abdur Rahman bin Awf radiyallahu anhu was paired with Sa'd bin Arabiya radiyallahu anhu, one of the prosperous members of the Ansar. Sa'd bin Arabiya radiyallahu anhu made an extraordinary offer. He was willing to share his wealth, so Abdur Rahman bin Awf radiyallahu anhu could rebuild his life. After leaving everything behind, wouldn't accepting such an offer have seemed like the obvious choice? He thanked him for his generosity. Barakallahu laka fi ahlika wa malik. May Allah bless your family and your wealth. Then came the words that would echo through Islamic history. Dullani ala suq. Show me where the market is. He wasn't asking for comfort. He was asking for opportunity. And that is where his remarkable journey began. The market of Medina didn't know who Abdur Rahman ibn Awf radiyallahu anhu was. His reputation in Mecca couldn't automatically earn him customers in a new city. Every merchant faces the same challenge when entering a new market. Trust must be earned again. Historical reports tell us that Abdur Rahman bin Awf radiyallahu an began trading in the marketplace, dealing in everyday goods. There was no shortcut, no wealthy investor waiting behind the scenes, no guarantee of success, only opportunity and the willingness to work. Day after day, transaction after transaction, something began to happen. People returned. Not because of flashy promises, not because of clever marketing, but because trust has always been one of the world's most valuable currencies. Because wealth often grows quietly. Before anyone notices the success, there are countless ordinary days of consistent effort. Success eventually returned to Abdur Rahman bin Awf radiyallahu anhu. The man who had once entered Medina with almost nothing became one of the most prosperous merchants of the early Muslim community. But history doesn't remember him simply because he became wealthy. It remembers what happened after. As his business grew, so did his generosity. Historical sources describe him supporting the Muslim community with remarkable acts of charity. Many people dream of becoming rich. Very few prepare themselves for the responsibility that comes with it. Money answers one question: what can I buy? Character answers a far more important one: what am I willing to give? Principle 1. Ask for opportunity, not rescue. When Abdur Rahman bin Awf radiyallahu anhu arrived in Medina, he could have depended entirely on someone else's wealth. Instead, he looked for an opportunity to rebuild. The lesson is simple. Don't build your financial future around being rescued. Look for problems you can solve and value you can create. Principle 2. Skills travel further than wealth. So don't only accumulate money. Accumulate skills that can create money again. Money can disappear, but knowledge, experience, and useful skills travel with you. Principle 3. Trust is your greatest currency. One honest transaction can create another customer. One good reputation can create hundreds more. A successful business isn't built only on products. It's built on trust. Principle 4. Build quietly before you build publicly. Don't confuse attention with progress. Build competence first. Let your results introduce you. The early stages of success are usually invisible. You work before anyone notices. Principle 5. Wealth is a trust. In Islam, wealth isn't simply something to possess, it is a responsibility. The real question isn't only how much you have, it's what your wealth allows you to do. Principle 6. Character outlasts capital. So build patience, honesty, discipline, and integrity alongside your wealth. Businesses fail, markets change, money can disappear, but character can remain. Principle 7. Seek barakah before bigger numbers. Because true success isn't simply having more. It's earning lawfully, living responsibly, giving generously, and finding goodness in what Allah has given you. The modern world asks, how much more can I make? Islam teaches us to ask a deeper question. Is there barakah in what I have? At the beginning of this story, I asked you a simple question. What would you have left if you lost everything tomorrow? He lost his business. He left behind his home. He walked away from the marketplace where he had built his reputation. But the things that mattered most, he never lost. His integrity, his skills, his willingness to work, his trust in Allah, and his commitment to earning through what was lawful. The marketplaces may have changed. Today's businesses operate through websites instead of caravans. Payments move digitally instead of by coin. But trust still matters. Integrity still matters. Character still matters. If history were written about your life one day, would people remember what you owned or how you earned it? And more importantly, how you used it? Take a moment to think about your answer. Then share it in the comments. Some of the most meaningful conversations happen there, and I'd love to read your perspective. If you enjoyed uncovering timeless business and wealth lessons from authentic Islamic history, you're in the right place. Here on Qur'an Companion TV, we don't just tell stories from the past. We explore the principles that made those stories worth remembering and how they can inspire the way we live, lead, and build today. If that sounds valuable to you, subscribe and join us for the next episode. We'll explore the remarkable business life of Khadija radiyallahu anha, one of history's most successful entrepreneurs, and discover what modern leaders can learn from her example. Until then, build your wealth with excellence. Protect your character even more carefully than your wealth. And never forget, the greatest investment you can make is becoming the kind of person that wealth can be trusted with.